So friends, today we are going to work on learning how to draw a picture inspired by the kelp forests. Now the important things to know for this picture is we're going to learn sensitivity with the pressure of our crayons. We're also going to be learning how to use a white crayon in kind of an interesting way. So the things you're going to need are, of course, the white crayon, a couple crayons, we're looking other colors, we're looking for blues, greens, maybe some purples. Keep it kind of simple. And a pencil, good old-fashioned number 2 will be just fine. Now, in the video I was watching from Nature Boom Time, something like that, they said one of the coolest things was being able to turn around and look up and see the light from the sky shining through the water and through the giant kelp forest they were in. So this reflects that kind of drawing. So first we're going to draw the blades of the kelp. We're going to do that with a pencil. Now if you've been taking 3rd grade with me, 2nd grade, you know that these are called organic shapes. Now I'm moving my whole arm, not my fingers, not my wrist, my whole arm, and just kind of dragging the pencil across the paper. Yours is going to look different than mine. You should not try to copy it. Everyone will be different. The other thing that we're going to see is that we have a kind of radial balance. Now it's not like symmetry. I can't fold this in half and make it look exactly the same any particular direction. But it does all sort of radiate out from this center point. So I keep turning it like this. That one's a little pointy, isn't it? That's okay. For the most part, they're going to be kind of curved. And you want something kind of all the way around. Next, we're going to take our white crayon, and we are going to be using it on the lines. Now, white crayon is, of course, not going to show up on white paper, and it's not really going to show up in this artwork at all, but it is going to change the quality of the line and the quality of the crayon that goes over top of it. Now I'm just going to color in the direction of it. I'm going to do this for every single line that I have on the entire paper. Now if you're following along, you might want to take a break because I don't want you to have to sit and watch me do this entire business. Instead, I'm going to kind of move on to the next step just so you can see that. But you are, on your artwork, you're going to want to go through without missing any of them, color every single blade of kelp that you did, or go over the outline rather. Then we're going to come into it and we're going to start adding the effect that makes it look like it is the bright light is coming from above. So I'm going to move this hand back and forth and I'm going to turn the paper with my other hand. So I'm not trying to run over those, but if I do, it's not the end of the world. So I just keep turning my paper. I can stop coloring and turn it more if I need to. Get right up to the edge of the leaves. You want to press down pretty hard, but at the end, not up here. If you press here, it'll break. And keep radiating around, going in a circle. This arm is just back and forth. And this one is turning it. You want to go all the way around. I'm saying it again because I'm not finished yet, and that's just what I'm doing. If you're not sure where you are, you can actually feel it. Or if you turn it at the side, you might see the glare of where the crayon is. Then, I mean, there's no other way to say it. We're going to scribble a little bit. We're going to go around and around and around and around. When you run into some of the kelp gardens, I still want to press in pretty hard, even though I can't see what's going on. You see them turning the paper? This is going to make a big difference in the way my color goes on otherwise. Okay, we got some cool stuff going on there. Now I'm going to come on each of these leaves and I'm going to color sideways across them, not up and down on each one, but across the width of them. It's going to help make it look more three-dimensional, and it's hard to describe why that is. Just like with the other thing on the edges, I'm not going to make you watch me color every single blade of kelp, but that's what you're going to do on yours. So if you were following on, you may again want to just kind of stop and watch for a little bit. In fact, if you want to pause the video, if you're watching this on YouTube and catch up, that is totally fine. All right, now I'm going to start adding the water. Now this is where the pressure gets, your sensitivity of how hard you're pushing down becomes extremely important. I'm not going to hold it like this, where I've got all my strength on the point of this. Instead, I'm going to back up and I'm going to hold it towards the end, and it's just the weight of the crayon. Look at the difference between these. Very light, cinching up on it, pushing down. Look at the difference. Maybe you can barely see it on the video. I don't know how well it's coming across. And you can go over soft coloring over and over again. And both of those are great just for different purposes. Now I've got that middle part. That's where I was kind of radiating out from. So I'm going to take my pencil, or crayon, and lightly, not hard, but lightly, I'm just going to move it back and forth and turn my paper. Move pretty fast, but you're not pushing down hard, so it's not a lot of work. And if it's easier for you to color for a minute, and then turn your paper, color for a minute, turn your paper, you can do it that way too. But you just want to keep going around and around and around and around and around. You'll never guess what comes next. Yeah, that's right. Around and around and around and around and around. Okay, well, I mean, this is a thing that's happening. Doesn't look like much yet. They keep going out. If remember, I didn't color over these because those were waited for before, so they're not going to work quite as well as these are. So I'm going to keep coloring. I'm going to hurry to get to those. And as you get out here, you'll start to see some of the effects of the white fade. I'll just keep going in my circle first. I'm going to press down just hard enough so that it shows up. And if you colored good and hard with your white crayon, you will see the difference when you get off of the white. How it changes in those areas. And I honestly could have gone a little bit darker, harder with my white crayon. And you'll keep going until you get all the way to the edge. You may find some places where it's there's a little bit of a sudden drop off. You may go over that lightly again, a little bit more until it disappears. You may go back over the outside and make it darker. But that white crayon on the inside should keep it from getting too dark in the middle, which is what you want. You want the shine of the sky right over it, going right into the person's mask. There we go. Okay, and just like I did this tongue here, you'll continue it all the way around. When you're all done, you may decide to add a different color. Again, keeping it kind of light, just coloring enough for it to show up to get kind of a blend. That can look really cool. What about your kelp blades though? Well, I'm glad you asked. You're gonna take your green and color side to side on those. If you run over the sides of these a little bit with either the blue or the green, it is not a big deal. Try not to get too messy with it, but remember that the water is going to make it a little bit fuzzy. You see I'm moving my paper again. I can't help myself from doing that. I love it so much. It's such an easy effect. Keep your lines going in kind of the same direction, but get a little bit of variety. Oh, you can see where I switched where I kind of stopped because I wasn't going to do the whole leaf in this video. Same thing over here. That's looking good. All right, now when you finish it and you get all the way to the end, like I say, you may want to add some darker purples to the edges of it. You could even come in with a little bit of green, because in the video, just to blend it over the top, it's up to you. Because we did see that there were bits of kelp drifting through the forest the whole time too. So there's a little bit of hints of green. You can see that next to the lines in some places, I decided to come in and make those a little bit darker. And you have to bear down because you'll have white crayon over all of the leaves. That's fine too. All right, that is how you do it. Can't wait to see what you create. Make sure you share it with me on Flipgrid. Oh, and I am going to show you one last little trick right here in the middle. I almost forgot. If you have some scissors, you can use your fingernail too. It's up to you. Go right in the middle and just kind of scrape off the blue. Go in a circle. Again, bear down just hard enough for it to take it off. You want to be gentle. This is not the time to use your massive muscles, guys. I'm going to make little scratches. I'm going to turn it. You can see that it's lifting up the blue and leaving the white because the white was down there first. I'm being very gentle. I don't want to be too rough with this. You just kind of stop whenever you think it's going to look good. I'm going to get further apart and go slower as I get further out. Turning your paper takes a little bit of coordination, right? Your PE teacher's working on crossing the midline. This is part of that. Until you get happy with it. Then you brush off your extra onto the trash can. Not onto the floor, not onto the table. Brush off the little crayon boogers into the trash can. And then you'll start to get that really cool effect with the sunlight in the middle. This little spot's a little bit dark, so I'm going to scratch it. And that's how we are going to make this picture. All right, make sure you share it with me. Talk to you soon. Bye.